Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel from Mrs. Rachel Brady. Mrs. Rachel Brady is a blog and a YouTube channel and now even a book club, and it's all about family, food, home and style. So nice to meet you if we've not met before. I'm a mum of two, my son is 8, my daughter is nearly 6 and I have a baby on the way due early September. Today's video is about being more organised. So I am not by any stretch of the imagination like some kind of perfect mother. However, I'm coming up for 39 now and I have learned over the years that my flashpoints for kind of stress and like losing control and things like that are always to do with like getting out of the house in the morning and things like that. And so over the years I've learned a few techniques for being more organised, particularly on school days and weekdays, and that's what I'm going to focus on today for the video. So what comes before the weekdays? Well, it's the weekend, and that's where I'm going to start. So basically I'm going to start with a really kind of classic, predictable, boring one, and it's meal planning. I always meal plan. I'm a real believer in it. I'm not going to bang on about meal planning, just suffice to say, start doing it. I've got my little board and I meal plan normally, actually even the week before. So I will start to meal plan on a Friday for my online order to come on the Saturday. Also during the week, if I realise I've run out of something, say for instance like ground cumin or bread or mayo or anything, I have a Tesco shopping app on my phone and I add it to the shopping list, and then when I come to do my online shopping, I'm literally putting a few things in as I meal plan, order it to come the next day, and away we go. So that's planning for the week ahead at the weekend. And then when it comes to the actual week itself, I'm a huge believer in doing so much stuff the night before. A big one, and I always remember my mum doing this, is get your food out of the freezer that you need for the next day's meal out of the freezer the night before. So it might be a quiche, it might be some chicken, it might be some meat. You might have realised that you need a loaf of bread getting out of the freezer. So once we've had our dinner and I've cleaned away and we're all kind of in our pajamas at that kind of like early evening stage, I've started doing something and I really recommend it. So twice a week the kids get their own breakfast, which means I don't kind of cook for them. And you actually might want to do this every single day, especially if you're in a rush to get to work or whatever. And I put out the cereal bowls and the cereal the night before. And when the kids come down, all they have to do is they can either get the milk out of the fridge themselves or I'll just grab it for them and they can just sort themselves out. It's such a good thing to do. Another thing you can do regarding breakfast is actually make your breakfast the night before. So whether it's overnight oats, which is very, very simple, I just do it in a bowl, and I can have the overnight oats with berries and fruit and peanut butter and all those good things, and then the kids could have a splodge of Nutella in there and I microwave it and it's chocolate porridge. Another thing I like to make the night before is actually pancake batter. It gets better if you make it a day or even 2 days before, because any lumps that you have kind of melt into the batter. I'll leave some recipes for overnight oats and overnight pancake batter down below. This is a huge one and I've always done it, and on the very rare occasions when I've not done this, I get really like annoyed with myself because then it's just like an extra job to do in the morning and I get all flustered. So it's laying out the kids' uniforms the night before, making sure they've got clean socks, clean pants, looking at their uniforms and just kind of going, oh no, that's not going to do it, it's too dirty, getting a fresh dress out or getting a fresh t-shirt out. At this point you can notice as well, oh dear, there are no fresh dresses, and just do a quick wash, and then before you go to bed you can pop it on the radiator or in a tumble dryer or whatever. You've got that time to plan ahead instead of finding out in the morning that all their school shirts are dirty and you're gonna have to send them in something completely inappropriate, which is just so stressful. Again, the night before, in that kind of early evening stage where the kids are kind of playing, or they might be like playing Lego, or they might be watching something with their dad on TV, so it's kind of just before bedtime, I get their school bags ready. I look through their school bags and see if there's any slips that I need to reply to, and I think, what will they need for the next day? So it's summer right now, so they both need a cap, so I pop the caps in. There's always some kind of reply slip that I need to sign and pop in. On this occasion as well, there was some party invites for B that I've been meaning to send, and I just pop them all in there as well. And of course they're reading books. I don't put their drink in, because what I actually do with their drink bottles is I fill them up the night before, and I've actually started putting like loads of ice in their drinks bottles, filling it up with fresh filtered water, put them in the fridge, and then they're ready to go the next morning. The next thing I do is I plug in the kids' devices to charge. This might sound like a little bit of an insignificant one, but for me the worst thing ever is in the morning when they do have some allocated screen time. If there's no charge on it, they both go into panic stations, then they have to sit whilst it's charging on the device, and then it like sometimes it can't catch up and it won't charge, and that will just create a stressful situation. Once I'm sure that the kids have had supper and everything that they want, aside from maybe a cup for mine and Adam's cups of tea once they're in bed, all the dishes go into the dishwasher, and generally speaking 9 times out of 10 there's enough there to put a load on. I will pop the dishwasher on an eco wash, and then I know that come the morning time I can just unload it before the kids get up and it's all sorted. I also occasionally, not every day, put a washing load on. So what I do, before I go to bed, I put a load of washing on, and I put the delay timer switch on, and I put it on for either 6 or 9 hours, figuring out what time it is and what time I want the kind of machine to be finished, the cycle to be finished. That means that in the morning, either I can pop the stuff out if I've got time whilst they're kind of getting ready for school, or I can do it as soon as I get back from the school run. Once the kids are actually in bed, that's normally about kind of like 8, 8:15. We aim for 8 o'clock, and Arthur sometimes reads till about 8:30, so it's always between 8 and 8:30. I tidy up whatever they've been doing. So it might be that we were all watching something as a family, or it might be that they were playing Lego, or it might be that they were doing some colouring. Once the kids are in bed, I tidy up all the kind of cushions and throws and things that we might have used to kind of keep warm. I tidy away like the cups that we've used for a cup of tea, put them in the kitchen sink, so there's literally just 2 cups to come down to in the morning. I just have a bit of a tidy around. I absolutely hate coming downstairs in the morning and like it's all kind of messy from the night before. So a huge part of being organised in the week for me is making sure that I'm well rested, and I was a sufferer of insomnia for years, and the way that I've cracked my insomnia is by having a really tight sleep routine, so practicing good sleep hygiene. I will do a separate vlog on this because quite a few people have mentioned to me that they have sleep problems, and I know all about that stuff. I set my alarm. Normally I get up at like 7, but recently, to just feel that more on top of things and more organised, I've been setting it for 6:45. I also put out my own clothes the night before. I don't do this every single time, but like 8 times out of 10 I will literally, it's almost sometimes as I'm taking my clothes off, I'll think like, oh, I can wear those jeans again tomorrow and pop them down. I'll just like quickly get a couple of tops out or whatever. So in the morning, that extra 15 minutes is going to allow me to come downstairs and unload the dishwasher from the night before. I also have a cup of tea, and especially if it's on a day like it was on this morning when I filmed, where the kids are getting their own cereal, I have like a really nice 15-minute period to like have boiled eggs on toast, or like on this occasion I think I had an avocado on a bagel, smashed on a bagel with some tomatoes. I have a cup of tea, I sit down and I just look through my phone. There might be some comments to reply to on YouTube, or there might be, I just look on my calendar as well. On this day I had 2 appointments that I needed to remind myself about, so it just gives me a chance before the kids come down to just regroup, have a cup of tea, unload the dishwasher, and just feel like I'm ready for them when they come. So my next tip is to have like breakfast time, morning routine rules. So one rule that the kids know is that after they've had breakfast and we've put their dishes in the dishwasher and things like that, that they can't just go straight over to their Kindle Fire. So even though they will go over to the Kindle Fire, they know I'll say, what are we doing now? And they'll say, get dressed. Listen, what time is it? Right, it's 25 to 8. What we do first? No, we don't do that, do we? We get dressed first. Go and get dressed. Also, when I put the kids up, I brought their clothes in from when I laid them out the night before. So their clothes are on a sofa each, and they know just to get themselves dressed. And when they're dressed, they can come to me in the kitchen, show me that they're fully dressed. And I mean socks and cardigans as well, and cardigans and jumpers as well, because they're always the things that they're trying to leave out. When they're fully dressed, they may have their Kindle Fire to play on. So this is normally between kind of like 7:30 and 8 o'clock, and my next tip is to have like time goals. So I've always had this time of 8 o'clock in my mind. I want every single thing sorted apart from myself, in terms of dress, shower, etc., sorted by 8 o'clock. So during that period where the kids are now dressed and they're playing on their screen, I can whip round the house, I tidy up, I make sure everything's in the dishwasher, I give all the surfaces a wipe down, I pick up their discarded pajamas from the living room, I go into their bedrooms, I put the pajamas under the pillow and I make their beds and open their blinds and curtains. I also make my own bed and I do a quick time check, and it's normally before or around 8 o'clock. A quick tip as well, I found this product and I completely forgot I had it, and it's a really good idea for busy mums in the morning, and it's a shower, it's like an in-shower moisturiser. So any products that are going to save you time in the morning, go for it. So my next tip is just to multitask for those last few bits, those last few minutes that you need to pull together. So what I always do whilst the kids are sat at the breakfast while playing on their devices is I get my brush and I get the little hair gel stuff that me and Arthur use, and I give their kids' hair a brush whilst they're kind of engaged in this activity. If I've got time at this point, I will hang out the washing if I had a load on from the night before. All that we have is that at 8:30 the devices go off, the kids know that, so I can take the devices off them and plug them in to the wall to charge. I put their bottles from the fridge in the bag and we go to school. Another thing I really believe in is I write a list, and I'll write just a little list in my scrapbook about what I need to do that day, what appointments I have, so each day I know exactly what I'm doing. Guys, I really hope you find that video useful. How do you stay organised in the mornings? I find like if I don't have a tight routine to stick to, then things can easily get out of control and escalate, and that's when tempers are frayed, and we don't want that. So give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and do comment below, and don't forget to hit subscribe if you're not already. That's it for now, guys. Bye!